Crypto products are unregulated and could be highly volatile. Please be aware of the risks before investing.
राज, बाबूजी के आशीर्वाद से हमने अपनी नई शुरुआत तो कर ली, पर अपना फ्यूचर प्लान कैसे करें?
बड़े बड़े शहरों में ऐसी छोटी छोटी बातें होती रहती हैं।
Looking for perfect start? Get a Bitcoin today. Download the Unocoin app.
जब मैं तेरी उम्र का था ना, तो एक सक्सेसफुल करियर, लॉन्ग टर्म प्लानिंग सब रेडी करके रख चुका था। और एक इन महाराज को देखो, पूरा दिन फोन में लगा रहेगा।
दैट प्लानिंग तो मैंने भी कर रखी है, Unocoin के साथ।
नए जमाने के साथ नई चीजें आजमाएं। Looking for Bitcoin? Download the Unocoin app.
Guys, we really need to work hard. This wasn't a good quarter. Tell me, are you happy with this?
Yes! Unocoin.
Want to earn Bitcoin? Just grab your phone and shake it. Download the Unocoin app.
Bitcoin.
Get a systematic buying plan from the Unocoin app to get your Bitcoin today. Download the Unocoin app.
हेलो एंड वेलकम बैक डियर Unocoiners। एक बार फिर से स्वागत है आप सबका Unocoin के AMA और लाइव Q&A सेशन में, जहां पर हम हर हफ्ते बात करते हैं किसी इंटरेस्टिंग क्रिप्टो टॉपिक के बारे में। तो आज का AMA स्टार्ट करने से पहले सबसे पहले तो वेरी 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 हैप्पी न्यू ईयर टू ऑल ऑफ यू। आई एम श्योर कि मार्केट ने आपको न्यू ईयर के जोक्स देने चालू कर दिए हैं एंड जैसे कि हम लोग देख रहे हैं, इट्स बीन प्रीटी इंटरेस्टिंग, which is also our topic for today. Crypto market in 2024, for which we have one of your most favorite speakers today who will be joining us like super soon. तो तब तक आप बताइए आपका न्यू ईयर कैसा चल रहा है एंड हाउ हैज द मार्केट बीन फॉर यू। आपके लिए ये चीजें अपॉर्चुनिटीज लेकर के आ रही हैं कि बस फोमो दे रही हैं? हाउ डू यू फील अबाउट इट? And more so with this interesting coming in sessions and everything, we get a very nice chance to talk about what you are feeling about it. Lately, we saw a very interesting move by the government of India as well, where they kind of put a shadow ban, not the right term of course, but then again ask them to comply with FIU, which is another interesting thing, क्योंकि अब बहुत सारे जो हमारे offshore की तरफ जो customers चले गए थे या जो users चले गए थे, उनके लिए अब इंडियन एक्सचेंजेस एक बड़ा सोर्स ऑफ गेटिंग क्रिप्टो होने वाले हैं. एंड Unocoin of course is always there, and we, like, the major problem with Indian exchanges that we come across on a daily basis is the restriction on crypto withdrawals. यही एक बड़ा कारण था क्यों लोग offshore exchanges के पास जा रहे थे, ताकि they can at least withdraw their crypto and keep it in their self custody. We've also seen that, in the Bitcoin white paper itself, Satoshi has highlighted we have seen that in the Bitcoin white paper as well, that Satoshi has very clearly highlighted the importance of self custody. Now, with the current Indian exchange scenario, it was very difficult. But let me assure you guys, Unocoin has always allowed crypto withdrawals and our withdrawals, howsoever you feel. We promote self custody with one of our most interesting features called the paper wallet. अब ये paper wallet क्या है? मल्लिका अर्जुन स्पेकुलेशन ऑन ETF अप्रूवल. वो स्पेकुलेशन तो चल ही रहा है. अब 10 तारीख को देखते हैं क्या बात होती है. उस दिन भी हम आपके साथ जरूर जुड़ेंगे, KMA के लिए लाइव डिस्कशन करेंगे, देखते हैं क्या होता है. अब आपको क्या लगता है मल्लिका अर्जुन, अप्रूव हो जाएगा 10 तारीख को हमारा ETF या फिर और लंबा टिकेगा? Oh, you personally need ETF to get rejected. Why is that? आई थिंक वो एक जो मार्केट डंप है ना, उस सबका हम सब इंतजार करें, क्योंकि हम सबको लग रहा है कि एक वो मौका मिल जाए जहां हमें बिटकॉइन बुल रन के पहले खरीदने का चांस मिल जाए. सो डेफिनेटली आई थिंक दैट इज अ स्पेकुलेशन अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल आर मेकिंग. बट देन आप ये भी इमेजिन करिए कि जब वो रिजेक्ट हो गया तब प्राइस नीचे चला गया. अगर वो अप्रूव हो गया तो प्राइस ऊपर चला जाएगा. I would suggest कि अगर आपको करना है तो you can start it right now. And here we have our speaker. Congratulations, Sathvik, on completing 10 years. We never, got a chance to really discuss that part. And today that you're here, I think I'm gonna definitely talk about that as well. It was one of major points that I wanted to discuss today, actually. So, guys, here we have our speaker for today, the CEO and co-founder of Unocoin, your favorite crypto exchange, Sathvik Vishwanath. So, Satvik, how has the new year been for you so far?
Yeah, just like any other year. Glad that that the time keeps moving, and we always have new ideas, new promises, new hopes, and making sure it's delivered is the best thing, right? So.
Absolutely. So yeah, now coming back to the 10th year anniversary, Satvik, I lately got a chance to talk to Sunny about this in our previous AMA. But I really wanted to discuss this with you because while Sunny was in Canada, you were here taking command on the front row, you, Harish and Abhinand. So how has it been? And then we'll start with the crypto market scene for 2024.
See, if you see the advantages part of it, it's better, but there are of course some disadvantages, right? So it depends upon the communication that we continue to have, and I would say this has been more advantageous because there is always someone awake to make sure that if anything that needs immediate attention, there is someone to attend it and such, right? So, and also he being in Canada helps us to stay more closer to our investors. Most of them from US and some of them from Canada, etc. So on the other side, yeah, I mean, like we have our distinguished roles on who does what. Yeah, taking care of it will just make sure that the company continues to propel forward. Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, coming to another interesting thing that I really wanted your opinion on, Satvik, before we start with our main topic for today. Recently, we saw a very major crackdown by the government on foreign exchanges, asking them to comply with FIU and, kind of telling them in a way that, you can't do business here if you don't. So, what is your opinion on that?
No, I mean, I would say it's actually a good move, right? So, see, one of the worries for any government is if they identify anything which is violating the anti-money laundering or financing of terrorism or any such issues, it's important for the government to instantly get involved and figure out where the issue is. Else, that could continue to grow bigger, and it could become less controllable. So now it just comes down to how compliant are these exchanges to help the authorities of various countries to get the required information if any such information is received. And when it comes to international laws, which usually are not very straightforward and a lot of times it's weak, it actually makes it quite challenging when such requests are not honored in a timely manner. So let's say if our authorities write, I want the information of this particular phone number, if they have account with you and what transactions they have done. See, they obviously have the biggest responsibility of making sure the country is safe, right? So and whatever is the income that the country is supposed to get, making sure that the country is getting that particular income. So they are doing their work, right? So, and now the question is very, very simple. The India through FIU, which is the regulatory body, it's, I would not say regulatory body, but it is intelligence body, to to understand and know if anything is going wrong. They are the first ones to identify, and let the other authorities relevant to them know. It could be ED, it could be CBI, it could be just normal police officer, it could be anyone, right? So their worry is, if these international exchanges does not comply with their requests, then it could become a huge security issue for the country in the future. So they are just proposing that either you become compliant with the laws of India and then provide the services to Indians, or if not, then we don't want you to service India. It's as simple as that. So they have got some time to decide on which side they want to fall, right?
Mhm.
So and based upon that, they will have some extra compliance burden to make sure it is being followed, as long as a customer is from India, and if anything away from normal is happening, they should be reported, and all such, right? So now it is like a show cause notice has been issued for them. So why we should not block you, kind of thing. So once they have the proper reply for it, then I mean, let's say if they want to comply, then they'll be given ample time to comply, maybe 3 months, 6 months, whatever it is. But the intention should be straightforward now.
That
Uh,
is true. That is true.
so, so once the
But
intention is done, it will be good. Yeah.
yeah, but when this news broke and on the Twitter, it struck panic. I saw everybody just giving this information, and then there are a lot of users who have been using these exchanges because there's a major problem with Indian exchanges, which is not to allow withdrawal. And Unocoin stands out in that case because we do allow it. But because there are a lot of people who kind of flew to these offshore exchanges because of this, it struck panic at large. So what does it mean for them? Like, how do they kind of get out of this sort of a situation?
See, some Indian exchanges does not allow withdrawal, so which means a customer can get in, buy, and maybe he has to sell it at the same exchange
Exactly.
later and get the money back to their bank account. But some exchanges like Unocoin does allow crypto withdrawal, and we at Unocoin believe that crypto is all about safety, right? So I mean, it's all about freedom, right? So, and when it comes to security and safety, if a customer believes that they can provide the ample security and not to lose it, and they want to custodiate themselves, they should be allowed to do it. This only increases the trust that someone would have on exchanges like Unocoin. So we continue to have our stance of how we want to handle the crypto for our crypto for customers, and allowing them to do the required withdrawals and such. So which continues to happen right now, right? But when let's say if there are some international exchanges which are again not complying with FIU guidelines, I believe it's the best for Indians to withdraw those crypto either to their own hardware wallets or their own paper wallets or whatnot, or to even Indian exchanges, so that it's within India, and there is someone responsible to answer if something goes wrong, right? So just imagine, for example, we had FTX that had a huge collapse at the end of 2022. number of people from India who had accounts with FTX were, I think, is like 50,000 plus. Now they have no proper legal recourse also, right? So, and even if they want to participate, okay, like they're filing for bankruptcy. We trying to say that, I mean, like someone in India trying to say that they have a claim, and see that actually makes it so much complicated, right? And I believe such massive issues don't happen in India and in exchanges, because we obviously are much more cautious of what we try to do. So there are chances that, when such big issues happen, and if there is kind of ripple effects, and if it happens in India to some extent as well, it's unavoidable. But however, as such, what I have seen, the Indian exchanges are extremely cautious of what they do and what they don't want to do, and they have the biggest interest in protecting the crypto for their users.
True, and it's very necessary too, because when it comes to crypto market, we have seen the Indian government being specifically very kind of stringent with the rules and regulations, and aptly so, because India is a market of less financial literacy, and people tend to get stuck. And okay, we're getting a lot of comments here, so I'm going to start with something that I and Malika Arjun were discussing here before you joined the session today. That is ETF anticipation, speculation on ETF approval. So he says he personally needs ETF to get rejected so that he can buy Bitcoins. What is your opinion on this? Like, what are the two scenarios in your mind? Like, what would happen if ETF gets approved or if it doesn't get approved, and why so?
See, there definitely will be some price movement, but one should not bank on that kind of price movement, right? So if you trust in the technology and believe that this is something is there for the long term, irrespective of whether ETF gets approved now or not, so one should dip their feet in Bitcoin or crypto market. Okay, so there are always times where people wanted to buy crypto when it is cheaper, or some such. But what I suggest is little different. So this is something that would be a long term investment, right? So whatever is available today, if you want to buy it, buy it. And once if you bought it, hang on to it till you have some kind of realistic use of that money, or if you want to do anything with it, or maybe pass it on to next generation also. Okay, so now what are we banking upon, right? So we are just banking upon the fact that this is a kind of technology that will be of great use in the very near future. And if that becomes true, it will value continue to increase. Its ETF alone is not supposed to significantly affect the prices of Bitcoin. But however, because we still don't have even the first ETF approved in US, so that brings us to a very unique question: that what will be the overall effect if ETF gets approved or ETF gets rejected? So according to me, it will not be if it gets approved anymore. It will coming down to when, right? So it could take 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 5 years. We don't know, but there is always some speculation on top of it. The more and more people try to speculate, the ones who just want to profit from this will continue to do so. But however, one as a long-term investor should not bother about it. So if you want to diversify 1 or 2 or 3 or 4% of your portfolio, that's like healthy. Do that and hang on to it for long term. Is what I would suggest. So if ETF gets rejected, will the price really fall down? We don't know, right? Because there is not one ETF, there are multiple ETFs, so there'll always be plus minus. And if it gets approved, then of course we are seeing new heights, just because now there are new entities and industry level players who significantly will want to get involved, because now it is a kind of much more streamlined and no need to worry about the security and such. They just hold the ETF in their normal demat accounts, like other stocks and commodity, like dematerialized commodities. So that anticipation that there is more money, new money coming in, is kind of would push the price up. So right now, that's one thing which I would say is significant in guiding the price. But if you see, even in the past, there was always one or the other reason why price has reduced and why price has increased. If there is no very specific reason, then the percentage change will comparatively be stable, 1 or 2% plus minus. But whenever there is a reason, we have seen it like 7-10% plus or minus also, right? So but however, if you see how the price variation have varied, then 6 to 8 years ago, we had days where 25% used to be the price change in a single day, but now only on specific days we see 5% or anything like that. But on a normal day, it's just like 1 or 2%. So it has become stable in that way.
It has, most certainly, and I think when we have discussed about this in the past, we see it getting even more stable in the coming years. Like, with the halvings going down and all of this happening, I think it will. But most certainly, ETF is going to have a great, great, great impact on it. And actually, we have an EMA scheduled on the day that ETF judgment has to come. So I think we'll have a lot of great discussions around that. But Satvik, also something that I wanted to understand from you, with the Indian market, right, we have always seen a lot of regulatory challenges in terms of government coming into the picture, trying to impose new rules, sometimes for the good of people, sometimes just to create sort of compliance in the whole system. But what I want to understand here is, do you think, like, I know it's a very far-fetched thing to ask, but do you think will there ever be an ETF in India for Bitcoin?
I think so. There would be one, but the timeline is definitely unknown, right? See, it's like India is very much seeing this as an asset, um, digital asset, like how we have commodities and equities and forex, all of that digitized, where you have demat accounts and you're able to buy and sell it without really holding it, but they've extremely regulated market, a regulated entity which are selling it and buying it. So it would be, but definitely ours will not be the country who will do it first, right? I believe, like, let's say once US approves ETF, we may take somewhere around 5-6 years at least, for anything like that to happen within India. We are not we usually don't want to lose out on innovation and digitization, but at the same time we don't want to become the victim. So that is a very, very balanced approach that the Indian government always takes. It has actually helped us in the past. So when it comes to internet, or when it comes to any other new technologies that got invented, right? So we usually may not be the first one, but however, once we know that, okay, this is good enough for a common man as well, that is when the actual game completely changes. So today we have uh, highest internet penetration and mobile phone, smartphone penetration for this kind of population. What we have, if you see in the number of users or number of people who are doing this, we are already on the highest side, and it is like one of the very, very diversified land, to allow anything and everything, but making sure that a common man would not lose their savings or get cheated. So that will be the concern. So as long as that concern is to some extent addressed, I think it will be fine.
True, true. And I think that will be an interesting day to witness. I don't know if you and I will be here to witness it, but certainly it
Not
would be.
so far. They'll not be so far.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if it isn't, it's the greatest thing. So now coming back to the topic for 2024 market, Satvik, I think in 2023 we discussed a lot about this, saying that 2024 would be a good year. We have already seen market movements happening in that direction. Everything is going great. Even Bitcoin touched $45,000 just yesterday. I think yesterday or day before yesterday, and it's giving us high hopes. So, what the question that it is giving me right now is, do you think that Bitcoin will touch a new all-time high this year?
That is actually a tough question. But if we see the past trends, the year in which halving has happened is a good bullish year. But the year succeeding that would be even better.
Mm-hmm.
So, like in 12, we had halving, 13 was the best year. In 17, we had halving. No, I think in 16, we had halving, 17 was a better year. Then we had another halving in 20, but 21 was the best year, if I remember it right. So this year we definitely have a halving, so that is for sure. Just because halving is there, it does not mean a fortune. Everyone knows it is there. It is not like ETF where there is an if, when, to what extent conditions. Those doesn't exist. So it will definitely happen. Period. So that would already be factored into the price as we approach halving. So which could be in like a few months, 3-4 months. But after that, now we have to see what is the impact that the supply will face. So when the first halving happened, so the number of bitcoins that is getting released every 10 minutes went down from 50 to 25. So which means in the subsequent 4 years, as compared to preceding 4 years, the amount of bitcoins was about 6 million or 6.25 million. So which is, if you see a total of 21 million, then that 6.25 million was a quarter. So in the next 4 years, the total extra bitcoins that is getting added was only 1.8. And we are actually entering the another 4 years, which means the total new bitcoins that gets added is only 1/60 or something like that, extremely small amount. So we have to kind of consider that almost Bitcoin number of bitcoins is become stabilized. It's marginally adding, right? So it's not like how it was how it was getting added before. And if you see next few, I would say if we approach like another two halving, I would say that okay, it's not adding anymore, even though it is such a small minuscule. It will not make any kind of difference if it is like 1.5 Bitcoin or anything like that, right? So as compared to 50 Bitcoins in the first 4 years. So because of this, I want to believe that if the price is increasing, it's no more because of halving, because it is hardly creating any kind of impact. But if it is increasing, it is just that more and more people want, because the demand has increased irrespective of the halving. So don't dedicate the trade to halving anymore. It's kind of whatever it had to do. We already have like 19 million Bitcoin also in circulation, 18 point some million in circulation. So remaining how much ever you add, how much you don't add is like marginal.
Absolutely. I think just yesterday, Sathvik, I was having this very interesting webinar with one of the folks who's a hardcore believer in Bitcoin, and he was explaining about this whole concept. And he happens to mention the fact that out of all the Bitcoin holders right now, only 20% are willing to sell it, 80% are willing to hold on to it. Now, moving forward, like you said, people are now wanting it more, right? Now, with only 20% of the people wanting to liquidate, with the supply reducing, and all of these, we see that it's definitely stretching the demand and supply equation in this case. And I think that is one of the major reasons why the market is reacting the way it is reacting. And I mean, not to give any financial advice, but our dear user Malika Arjun here was saying that he's waiting for Bitcoin's price to go down because of an ETF rejection. But trust me, Malika Arjun, it just might not. It's not a financial advice, but it might not. So maybe start accumulating with Unocoin's SBP right now. And you might have a good rupee cost averaging by the time the price goes up. So that is there. Now, Satvik, coming to the next question. Guys, by the way, this is an EMA. Ask me anything. Please ask your questions. I see a lot of opinions happening here in the comment section, which is great. We love to hear your thoughts on things, but also ask questions, make the session more interesting, more lively. Let us know what are your doubts, your concerns, and we'll be happy to answer about the topic, which is crypto market in 2024. I'm sure you guys are having plenty of questions around that. Now, coming to another question, Satvik, we see capital rotation happening in every bull market, you know.
Hold on a second.
Sure, sure. Okay. So, guys, like I said, like I said, this is an EMA session and we are going to answer all of your questions. Make sure to drop in a lot of questions. Make it more interesting, make it more lively, and let us know what you think. And also, I see a couple of comments about Binance and stuff. So, Digital Awareness India, if you're still listening this AMA, there's one quick thing that I tell you. See, Binance is Binance and they're international. Whereas we are talking about Indian exchanges today. Now, with international exchanges, just like how Sathvik mentioned, it's a little problematic to obviously, do a lot of things. But with external, like international exchanges, the major concern is if something happens, if they file for any sort of bankruptcy, if they say that, they're ruined, you have nowhere to go to. You have zero sort of regulatory help from your government per se because they're international. Now with the FIU coming into the picture and other things, there might be some sort of assistance that you may get. But in the Indian market, you should always, even Modi ji promotes this made in India, so I mean, why not? So give us a chance, try our platform, let us know what you think. Okay, Satvik is back here. So, Satvik, coming to my next question. In this upcoming bull run, we see, in every bull run, we have seen the concept of capital rotation happening where people start moving their money from, like top tens to mid caps and so, like mostly the trader kind of people. But we hear that a reverse capital rotation will be happening in this bull run. And what I want to understand is, other than Bitcoin, what is one altcoin you believe has got good potential? It's not a financial advice, but just to know your opinion, why and what might have a good opinion, returns or let's say potential.
Yeah, again, the returns would depend upon what it is capable of achieving, right? So, for something to become popular apart from Bitcoin, then that new coin we are talking about should have something that Bitcoin is not offering. Else, it will still be Bitcoin, right? So, in that way, if you see, there are coins like Ether and nowadays in Solana, are Cardano, and few such which are Arbitrum. So, which are kind of offering the smart contracts based ecosystem along with tokenization on top of it. And then those whether those blockchains itself gets used for something more real world applications in other industries or not is kind of unknown. But however, these if they are if it can hold more and more developers and more projects get built on it, then it will continue to become more and more useful for people. So this is how I would see this. My first choice would still be Ether, and then followed by maybe Arbitrum and Solana. So this looks somewhat promising. Again, it depending upon um, the community involvement that is existing on top of it. But for newcomers who want to just dip their toes into this, it still have to be Bitcoin. And if they are diversifying their crypto portfolio also, I would still suggest having half of it in Bitcoin will always be like a lifesaver, even if others go in a direction which is unanticipated.
I think I can agree on this more than anyone because it's been like now what 1.5 years managing my portfolio, and I see why people in the industry are so bullish on Bitcoin. OGs like you, like so many other people in our previous AMA with Sunny, Ajit Kurana joined us, and even he was very bullish on Bitcoin, so bullish that he's named his dog Bitcoin. So we see, the real reason why people are bullish on Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is always should be anybody's first choice. Now, Chandan Datta here has a question. He's asking, is it possible to earn passive income as on present situation with Bitcoin? So, Chandan, we have got a very nice product for this called Earn Interest. Please download the Unocoin app. Try to explore that. We have got plenty of videos on it. So, you can definitely explore and learn how that works. And it's good for earning passive income.
And also they can use the Bitcoin to take a loan against it, and
Yes.
then what you do with the loan is all up to people. So that could also be kind of helpful. Yeah.
That is also another feature. I mean, just download the Unocoin app, guys. You'll have so many features and so many options to explore from. You'll be lost in the app, I'm telling you. Now, Satvik, we also, we see in every bull run that a lot of new people, like from the retail investor side, they try to enter the market, and just because of the hype, not because of the market, not because they know the things, just because of the hype. So there might be a lot of newcomers who are watching this AMA right now. So what do you think? Like, what is one piece of disclaimer slash advice, not advice, like, what is one thing that you would tell them before they step into the crypto industry?
Um, I would say the investment in crypto is highly risky, right? So they should not part away with the money um, where which they cannot afford to lose. If you are doing say more than 5% of your portfolio to be crypto, you are already taking a extremely high risk. Don't take the loan, right? So these are all like very generic advices, and but it should be stressed again and again. And if people invest in crypto and use that crypto where someone cheats them on some kind of project, then don't try to hit the crypto itself, crypto as an industry itself. It is just that you are not intelligent enough to safeguard it. It is like, let's say, if someone gets scammed because of some kind of website where people end up sending money in UPI and such, then you cannot hate money itself. It is someone who tried to cheat it, right? So who cheat you, and they were just successful. So safeguarding crypto is extremely important. If you think something is wrong, then definitely something is wrong. Always keep thinking multiple times, whatever, especially when you are required to send money and hit any kind of pay button on any apps. Be careful. Generally, that should take care of most of things. Yeah.
Yes, I think that is something really good. And to the backend team, we can definitely take a snippet of this and post on our social media platforms for everybody to see, because this is something that everybody should know. Now we have a question from Minba Anadurai. They're asking, can I trade options trade on Unocoin? So, Ibna, we don't have that option currently, but definitely you can write to us and we'll see what we can do to add and integrate that option into the Unocoin platform. So just drop an email or something, and we'll be happy to see what we can do to add that option to help you out. Okay. Now moving forward with this, Sathvik, we see that we face a lot of challenges in our everyday kind of trading. But what are some of the major, because there are new challenges with new things coming up. What are some of the challenges that you see might become a hurdle with the upcoming bull run 2024?
Um, if you see how the graphs used to be there before, it looks like there is no hurdle at all. But however, one big hurdle is who is bringing in the new money if there is a bull run. So in 2017, it was kind of very, very normal retail investors who brought in money, right? Like people like me, you. And in 2021, I would say a lot of corporates were also responsible, like Tesla to Microsoft to MicroStrategy to many of them. So I think this time, I continue to wonder who will be the one bringing in a lot of money. Like very small involvement of a new industry will not help, right? So it has to be many of them, some in the public information and some not in the public information. Hitting in is what the price should move up. So whoever can afford to buy Bitcoin have already bought Bitcoin. How much ever they can afford to buy, they have done it. If they are not buying it, then they don't want it, right? So there should be someone who did not think of buying before, but now are thinking of buying it. And that those people or the entities should be the one who is buying it in bulk. Or many such entities or people should take that stance that okay, I was not buying before, but now I have decided to buy. So that's where the actual challenge is. So to me, it looks like it could be institutions this time, and to some extent corporations also, which probably will pour in some money, eventually leading to bull run. But we'll have to wait and watch. We don't know who will share their love with Bitcoin sometime soon. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I think a major chunk of that crowd is going to be institutional investors after the ETF approval.
Let's see. Sure.
So here we have Sudhakar Sahu who's asking, a question we might not be able to answer. He's asking best wishes to both of you, same to you. Which coins are potential in 2024 so that we can buy as per your suggestions? So,
I wish I knew the answer as well. It's tricky, right? So, but however, based upon things I hear and minimum amount of research I keep doing, I myself am not a huge trader, right? So it's extremely rare I take any kind of bet or do any kind of trades. So if anyone is constructing a new portfolio, I would, no matter what, suggest some part of it, maybe half of it should still be Bitcoin, right? And remaining, depending upon the ability of them to take the
risk, yes.
on the next steps. There should be Ether or maybe along with Tada or I mean, like Cardano. Solana is looking good. And then if they're taking another one step risk, then there you get some Ripple and all such. And if you're taking even more risk on a smaller piece, then you can try meme coins. So it's like this, right? So when it comes to investment, what is the most safest investment? Maybe government bonds, or maybe next would be like fixed deposits. And what is the least secure investment? Maybe futures and options with margin trading on crypto or anything like that, right? So it's a huge thing. So now it just comes down to what extent you want to take the risk and where you want to stop, right? So once you enter the part where it's all crypto, the first one should be Bitcoin, and then Ether and Cardano and this thing, and maybe some Ripples, and then some meme coins, and maybe then some maybe new ICOs that are coming up, which you believe to have some kind of a logical use case and promising something big, and you believe in the team, and so all of that will come, right? And if you still want to take this, maybe then do futures and options also, or maybe take margin trades. So the amount of risk you can take is kind of unlimited, right? And that also means the amount of rewards is also significantly high. But it's also about you maintaining your peace of mind, and don't become insane. So yeah.
That is very, very, very important. And that is why we keep telling you guys do your own research, and create your own portfolio depending on your own research so that, you have more confidence on what you are doing rather than, I mean, we're always here to answer your questions, help you out, but you always need to do your own research. And that's what we promote all the time. So, yeah, that was one good suggestion for you, but you know what to do. Now, Sathvik, we see that the coming age with this bull run, there are a couple of questions, and I'll start with CBDCs first. This is a player that we haven't had in our previous bull runs, CBDCs. Now we see every other country is trying to come up with their own CBDC. India is almost there. I think it has already launched a CBDC. There's Russia almost there. There are multiple countries on the way to creating their CBDCs and almost done some of them. So, how is that going to sort of impact the utility, let's say, or anything related to in the crypto market for the retail users?
See, in other countries, it may be to some extent helpful because depending upon the digital payment infrastructure they have. But in India, what new thing is CBDC bringing? Let's say what I can already do is like UPI payment, which is instantaneous, bank to bank, no literally no middleman, or maybe RBI because they just control both sides. So what this new thing can do is maybe help again some people who are still not digitized to become digitized, and make them feel, if they're using the blockchain technology, make them feel how the blockchain technology works like. But I actually do not see a full use case of why we need it after we already have what we have. So we will have to see. I don't think it will have any kind of huge impact apart from spreading the knowledge about digital currencies and blockchain, and whatnot. So that probably is the best it could achieve. So unless there is now when people are paying money, they are already deciding what the money should be spent upon. So that could be one thing which could make some lives easier. So for example, some companies will give coupons which can only be used in food areas, right? So for buying the meals. Now, if you're doing CBDC, which actually can only be spent and given to the people registered as the food vendors, then you don't need to do a lot of complaints behind it. It will only work for that, right? And it will work independently directly because it is CBDC and it's okay. So I see that to be one use case which could make some people's life easier. But apart from that, even I want to learn how eventually it's impacting the normal Indian and also crypto industry as a whole.
True that, true that. And I mean, they sure did try to get into the system and in a good way, but the utility part is still on more dicey end. We still don't know how are we going to utilize that. So we are having couple of questions here from Pankaj Kumar, who's asking how long does INR withdrawal take on Unocoin. So, Pankaj, that depends on your method of withdrawal. So, definitely, I mean, you can contact our customer support team. They'll help you with this question of yours. And you
When
need
you are withdrawing, you can already see there. We usually mention it how long it
Yeah,
takes.
I think for NEFT it takes a couple of hours, and for I think virtual bank deposit similar. So that's what I think customer support can help you better with that, but it doesn't take more than 24 hours. That is for sure. So Pankaj Kumar has another question as well, which is very interesting. He's asking, how did you feel when Unocoin's Bitcoin ATM created an issue in mall and government seized it?
Actually, government did not seize that, but it was more about the confusion that some officers had about this particular machine in 2018. So where they believed that whatever we are trying to do is interrupting the ATM network of the banks that is already existing, and they didn't want to do and such. So, but our intention of why we tried doing that, what we did was to allow the cash based withdrawals and deposits of KYC users, and that too within the cash limits that can be done on daily or monthly basis. But however, then our fight with the RBI in Supreme Court went on well, and there was actually, like, today I don't see a need. People are able to do IMPS or NEFT, RTGS, or any kind of transfers. Some of them being instantaneous, and they're able to fund their accounts. And if they're withdrawing money to their bank account. So now we don't see a need for it. So at one point of time there was a need, and we were thinking that to be one of the ways in which it can be supported. But yeah, so we had that issue. Maybe that is one of the things that that helped us to be more focused on making sure that we spend some money and resources and time on winning the case against RBI and
Yes, but Sathvik, I must say it was one hell of an innovation at that point of time. I mean, who could have thought of creating a Bitcoin ATM, because the government kind of restricted people to, have bank interactions with crypto exchanges or transfer money of sorts. And when I was reading about it, I think last year or so, and I was just so thrilled because I'm working with people who kind of took that stand, came up with such an amazing innovation. And just a few days ago in the IBW event, like the India Blockchain Week, where I went over there as well, I there were a couple of people when I introduced myself saying that I work at Unocoin. Even they remembered this instance, saying that, oh, yours was the company that came up with the whole Bitcoin ATM thing, and it was so thrilling for me. And that is the interesting fact about Unocoin, that we never lag behind when it comes to innovation. We'll find one way or the other to serve our customers, to make things easier for them, and that is our priority agenda. So yes, we are always on that front. Now, Satvik, another question that I had was, we see so many things happening around, which is also around the trends. And the gist of this entire upcoming bull run, I somehow see that AI coins are also going to take a lot of they're going to gain a lot of prominence in the upcoming bull run. And we've already seen one AI coin coming into the picture by Sam Altman himself, the World Coin. And with the AI coin hypes and everything, what do you think, what kind of a potential is this side of industry going to bring? Like, what is the potential with AI and crypto and AI coming into the space, creating tokens?
Okay, see, AI is an industry of its own. Okay, so because AI is becoming popular nowadays, it's also true. A lot of people want to add their coins or create some kind of interaction or support for do anything with artificial intelligence and such. But not everything is like really AI focused. AI is like such a huge technological thing that not every developer or every small companies will be able to put that kind of efforts to make it work, right? So if somebody is saying, okay, my token is integrated with artificial intelligence, I don't know what it means yet. Okay, so there are some applications that we have seen from artificial intelligence. One being like, for example, ChatGPT, which is capable of learning a huge amount of information and then interpreting it and trying to help to come up with answers depending upon that and such. And there are some which helps you generate images, and some helps you generate movies. Some helps you write a story, whatnot, right? So there is no end for it, and it will only become better and better.
Yes.
Because it is in hype, there are many people, especially the people who want to create tokens, take advantage of it. So what I would say is really learn what artificial intelligence someone is using in creating the token and what it means in the long run. So the creation of token doesn't mean it's the end of it, it's actually the start of it, right? So then what are the founders trying to do, and what the team involvement is, how much community involvement is already there, what projects they're coming up with, what does the like use case looks like, then what does the tokenomics look like. So it is literally like picking needle from the haystack. It's not easy to identify good good tokens and companies which want to do it. So if someone don't have time, then maybe they should not really try to do anything and just go with established coins and tokens, I think. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. True that, true that. But it'll be interesting to see how AI takes the forefront here and, what all opportunities do we see with AI happening. We have a question here from Sudhakar Saho, who's saying valuable information regarding crypto market. Thanks, both of you. Would you tell us which altcoin Solana XRP slash Ethereum slash Shiba Inu will give more profits? I think Sathvik already answered this question, Sudhakar, and you can watch this recording. So we won't be giving you any financial advice, but he gave you a very beginner form of how to maybe get into the space and create your portfolio. What should be it based on? So you can definitely rewind this recording and watch it. Now, Satvik, another thing, India is definitely coming ahead in the crypto space. When we see a lot of things coming into the Indian market, we see a lot of Indians going to the foreign markets as well. But you're also kind of witnessing a lot of foreign companies now trying to establish themselves in India in crypto industry. One of them being Sandbox. So Sandbox has recently launched Bharat Box, and so Sandbox has recently launched Bharat Box, which is an India-specific metaverse. So do you think that will somehow impact the potential of metaverse tokens in India, or say overall?
See the real application or meaning of what is Sandbox, what it is capable of doing, what are its limits, to whom it can serve, to what extent it can serve. So those are all like the questions that continue to be there, right? But that is a good place to experiment something without undergoing the entire compliance, where you try to support lakhs of people or crores of people, and for at that the amount of importance you can give for every user, if they're doing it right, not right. So that actually takes a very complicated thing, right? So, but when you are, let's say, trying to only give it for like 5,000 people, then it's much more controllable. and you can really understand who are your customers and what they try to do. So I think that's what Sandbox is helping with, and they are also put limits saying that okay, you're doing it for 5,000 customers, that's fine. The limit per customer is like 1 lakh rupees. So that actually brings in the confidence of what this industry is trying to achieve for the government as well. They cannot always say yes for everything we try to do. Then because we always say what was government doing when things
Exactly.
actually go wrong, right? So they of course are afraid that someone would cheat a common man, and protecting the common man is the biggest agenda for any government. So this kind of sandboxes could help to experiment things and customize it for the way our country needs it. And once it capable of achieving that it should be fine, then that should just be fine. That's how I see it. So it can only do better. I cannot see how it can harm anyone.
Yes, absolutely. So, Satvik, I think while you were gone for a little call, there were a couple of questions we got from an interesting entity here called Digital Awareness India. He said, I think this was while we were talking about the Indian exchanges and the recent crackdown on the foreign exchanges. He's asking 100% Binance will enter into the Indian market, and oh, there's more. So his question starts with, but Indian exchanges are having very high fees. You guys are cheating with Indian users. Next, he says 100% Binance will enter the Indian market and we will welcome them. So, what do you think about this?
um, See, I think when it comes to fees, we also need to see how much volume we as Indians are trying to do, how much volume a trader would do on Binance and how much volume he would do on Indian exchanges, because it is not the same. Okay, so one, I definitely understand and agree that technologically the international some of the international exchanges are extremely advanced in nature, but again they were able to do because they are completely serving a international market. And when it comes to India, India is yet to have very significant role when it comes to the crypto market internationally. So why I would say that is, whenever there is new news in India as well about crypto, I hardly see any kind of huge price impacts. But if something like that happens, let's say in a country like US, there is a huge impact. And if you see the volumes internationally, if it is about few tens of $1 billion, then here we only have few millions of dollars. So which means like it's by 1,000 of it. Apart from that, there are very strict taxation and TDS rules. So which actually makes a lot of investors be cautious about when they want to invest, how much they want to invest, and how frequently they want to trade. So, given these challenges, the Indian exchanges try to provide at least the on ramp and off ramp, which the international exchanges cannot provide directly unless they are doing the peer to peer trades. So, being in India and making sure all compliance are established, it actually comes at an extremely huge cost as compared to someone who just want to provide a really good technology for people to do the required exchanges and such. So in that way, yes, I definitely agree. The fees that we as Indian exchanges have to put is not in line with international exchanges, but that also makes sure that the exchanges in India continue to survive. I don't think there is any properly profitable crypto exchange in India which is capable of taking money home, right? So as profit, I don't think it exists yet. So there is always a struggle. They are doing their best to make sure that they continue providing the services that they're already providing. And when it comes to international exchanges entering Indian market, it would still be a welcome move. It's we are not against it. We always have comparatively multiple challenges with India, especially when it comes to a new technology. So we don't have, say, for example, Tesla equivalent here. We don't have, say, for example, Facebook equivalent here. So whichever countries have supported any kind of really innovative technologies, they do, but we at least should be glad that we are not like China, where the country itself is stopping users from using it. We at least have access to it, and now once we have access to it, what we can do after that, we are doing it, right? So it's only partially, it's a little restrictive, and it makes it a little challenging. But we anticipate, I mean, like Indian exchanges always have the aspirations that they want to match the international standards, but they come at their own challenges within the country, including regulatory challenges and why they want to do the way they want to do, including like TD deductions, taxes, number and reporting and compliance. And yeah, it is complicated to run a cryptocurrency exchange in India. And if you actually see within the last 2 3 years, I don't even see a single new exchange that has taken birth, because the ones which have existed before that, um, because they have got used to, or they have built that DNA of being compliant and still innovative and such, with some money in hand, they continue to do it. But the entire thing, making it from scratch, is definitely challenging. It's like, okay, can a normal business become a bank? It's very very tough, right? So it's we as crypto exchanges have much more obligations than the rights we have. So it's a very complicated balance that we have to do and make sure that it's there. So if international exchanges want to come to India and provide services, even we want to use it probably.
I think very nicely answered, Satvik, and I think this answers his question really well. And on this note, we have almost crossed, not almost, we have crossed our today's time of AMA. And thank you everybody for joining in. It was a great session. And trust me, I have so many more questions. I could go on for another hour for this. But then again, we have obligations. And we'll see you again next week, by the way, on the day of ETF judgment. So we'll have another set of interesting conversation on that day. Make sure to follow us on our social media to get updates for our next AMA, and also download the Unocoin app to, kind of explore all the features we talked about here today. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Satvik, for being here today and giving us so many interesting insights. We'll see you again next week. Till then, goodbye.
Thank you. Thank you.